Florida with my morning inspiration. And this morning I want to talk about don't judge a book by its cover. And basically because a lot of times, people pass judgment upon people from what they see on the outside, and they don't know what's on the inside of a person. So basically what I'm saying this morning is if you don't know someone and you don't know who they are as a person and you don't know their story and you don't know what they've been going through in life, then you shouldn't pass judgment upon that person because you don't know what's going on in their life and you actually really don't know that person as well. So that's why your opinion of what you think of somebody, if you don't really know them, you should keep that to yourself. Because a lot of times we find ourselves, judging people and saying things about people when we don't even really know who that is. And then also a lot of times, we find ourselves labeling a person and giving a person a label and saying, what that person is, and that person is not gonna amount to nothing, is not gonna be nothing. But you don't know. And if you don't know, who a person is and what a person is going to be or going to amount to, you have no right to sit up there and judge nobody based upon what you see on the outside, because you never know what's on the inside of that person. And then you never know that person's story and the struggles and things that they have went through in life and all the things that they had to overcome. So that's why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because what you see on the outside, then you can't judge a book by the cover, if you don't know what's on the inside of a person. And the only way you find out what's on the inside of a person is you get to know that person. So what I'm saying this morning, don't pass judgment up on people if you don't know them. Get to know that person and know what's going on with that person. And then what you see in particular on the outside going on with that person, it may be something, it could possibly be something on the inside that that person is going through and battling with, that is causing them to be that certain way on the outside. So just don't, label a person and judge a person based on what you see on the outside. If anything, try to talk to that person, get to know that person, and see if there's anything that you can do to help that person with whatever their struggles are or whatever you see them going through on the outside, because you never know, how much you can help a person or how much you can build a person up when you don't judge them and you try to help them and you try to talk to them and you try to find out what's going on in their life before you just pass judgment on them, because you should not do that. You should never judge a book by its cover, because what you see on the outside doesn't mean that's what's on the inside of their heart. And you have to know that you cannot just pass judgment on somebody based upon their appearance and what you see on the outside. Because like I said, you don't know what the struggles are that they had to overcome in life and all the things that they had to go through in life. And the only way you're gonna know is to reach out to that person and talk to that person. So, what I'm saying to you this morning, instead of judging someone, see what you can do to help that person. See what you can do to offer that person some advice in whatever they're going through, instead of just passing judgment upon them and saying that, hey, this person, ain't gonna amount to nothing. This person ain't gonna be nothing. They've never been nothing. I've never seen them do nothing in life. They're not gonna go. Don't put people down. Don't criticize people. Because if all you have to say about someone is something bad, just don't say nothing at all. And if you're not trying to uplift someone and you're not trying to help someone, then keep your opinions to yourself, because you should not pass judgment upon people when you really don't know them. The main thing, the best thing that you could do is to try to help that person. Try to see, what you could do, what you could say that could encourage that person to do better than what they're doing right now, or to know, or to find out, what's going on in their life, because you don't know. And if you don't know what's going on in somebody's life, then you should not pass judgment upon that person. You should not say, what that person will or won't do, or what that person will or won't mount to, because you don't know. Like I said this morning, what I'm saying is you get to know a person before you pass judgment upon them. And then if you don't want to get to know that person, just don't say nothing about that person, because if you want to receive, the blessings that is in store for you, then you got to be kind to others. You got to treat others right. And judging people, when you don't know them, that's not right, and you're not going to receive the blessings that is in store for you if you do that. So always remember, if you see someone doing a certain thing or being a certain way, don't judge a person. You may see someone acting real angry and acting rude or whatever, but you don't know, you can't just say that that person is a rude person, because you don't know that person. You don't know what that person has been going through in life. You don't know what that person has had to endure in life and the obstacles that they had to come over, and that could be what's making them angry. So the best thing for you to do is just go over to that person and say, hey, sir, ma'am, I noticed you're a little angry today. Is there something I can do to help you? Is there something on your mind that you want to talk about? And you'll be surprised how many people will open up to you and change totally and do a complete 360 and become a different person just that quick, just by you going over and being concerned about them, rather than sitting back and judging them and saying that this person is a rude person and an angry person, because you don't know that person. We all go through things in life, and we all have our ups and downs, and we all have our struggles. And certain struggles in life causes people to act certain ways. So that's the reason why I say you should not judge. You should not judge a book by its cover if you don't know what's on the inside. Before you start to judge someone, try to find out what's on the inside of that person. Because what's on the inside of that person is truly what matters. What's on the inside. So always look on the in, find out what's going on the inside, find out what's going on with people before you just set up and start judging people. Because, if you do that, then you're messing up your blessing, because you're passing judgment on something that you don't know. And then another thing, like say for instance, a certain situation that a person may be in. Don't judge their situation if you don't know why they're in that situation. If a person is sitting back, on the street holding a sign, don't judge that situation and say they're just trying to hustle people out of money, because you don't know that. You don't know. They could have had a rough time in their life to where, it caused them to be there. And it's up to you. If you have something to give it to that person, support that person. Because even if they're out there for the right reason or the wrong reason, you have no right to judge them by what they're doing, because you don't know their story. And if you don't know a person's story, then don't judge somebody. If somebody is in a bad fix and you see somebody that need, help that person. Instead of judging that person, instead of saying, it's their fault that they're where they're at. You don't know that. You don't know that it's their fault that where they're at. Because like I said, life throws us all curveballs. We all endure curveballs in life, and there's a lot of situations and things that happen in our life that is beyond our control, and they cause us to be in certain situations in life. And that's the reason why I say don't judge a book by the cover, because when you judge a book by the cover, then you don't know what's going on with that person. You just pass judgment, and you didn't know that person. You might say someone's a bad person, and deep down inside, they could be the greatest person in the world that you've ever met, but you didn't allow yourself a chance to get to know that person, and you didn't allow yourself a chance to talk to that person to see what is causing that behavior that that person is having. Because like I said, a lot of people are damaged in life, and it causes them to act a certain way, judging from what they have went through in life, judging from what they have seen in life growing up. So don't pass judgment on somebody if you don't know their story. It's not right. And if you want to receive the blessings that is in store for you, then you should not pass judgment upon people. Because I can tell you a lot of times, I see people, sitting around and talking about certain people, And that's wrong, because you should not. If you don't know someone, don't talk about it. And if you're not going to help someone to find out what's going on in their life, then don't judge them, because you shouldn't, because you don't know. Like I said, everybody in life has a story. Some people have good stories, some people have bad stories. But I can guarantee you, everybody in their life has endured something bad in their life. Something bad has happened in their life that may have caused them to act a certain type of way. So you cannot judge that person because you don't know their story. And if you don't know their story and you don't know what they've been through in life, then you cannot judge that person. And you should not pass judgment upon that person. So I challenge you today, instead of judging someone, go over and ask them, hey, what's going on with you today, man? I noticed you got a certain thing going on. Is there something on your mind that you want to talk about? I'm here for you. I'm here, and I'll talk to you about this situation if you need me to do that as well. I mean, I'm here for you. Just start being more there for people and judge people less, because you don't know their story. Because the thing is, if you was going through something in life and a person was judging you, how would you feel? If they didn't know what you was going through, you wouldn't feel right about that. So don't do it to nobody else, because other people don't feel right about being judged when you don't know their story. So don't judge somebody when you don't know what's going on, because that's the most important thing in life, is that we need to know what's going on with people before we pass judgment upon people, because like I said, we don't know their story. We don't know what they've been through. And everybody that's on this earth today has some kind of story that they have went through in their life that they had to overcome. Some kind of sad moment that they had to overcome, some obstacle that they had to overcome. And a lot of people haven't even gotten past those obstacles right today, because you know why they hadn't gotten past them? Because every time they turn around, they're being judged. People are judging them by what's going on, by who they are and and how they're acting and how they treat people. Instead of judging, find out what's going on with a person. Ask questions and ask, is there something that you can do to help that person rather than tear that person down? Because we all need each other. We live in one world, and this is one world that we live in. So we should come together and unite as one and help each other in times of need, and talk to each other. When you see something going on in their life, or you see them acting a certain kind of way. I realize that all people in the world cannot be reached, but you don't know if they can be reached or not if you don't try. If you don't try to reach that person and you don't try to talk to that person when that person is angry, you don't know if you can calm them down or not. If you don't try to talk to that person when that person is sitting around crying and being sad, you don't know. You do not know what's going on. So my thing is, get to know a person, know what's going on in someone's life before you start to judge them, you know, by the cover of what's going on the outside. Because you should never judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what's going on. And if you don't know what's going on with that person, then you cannot judge them. You have to learn how to not be judgmental and just go with the flow. If you see somebody acting a certain way and you feel like they're not right and something's going on, go up and ask them. Go up and offer a hand. Say, hey, sir, madam, is there anything I can do for you today? I've noticed that you're not feeling well today, or I've noticed that your attitude is not the best today. What can I do to help you get that attitude at a better situation? Is there something going on in your mind? Can we talk about it? Or maybe there's a person, because you don't know what people have went through. And when you sit back and judge them, you hurt them more. You may think that a person doesn't know when you're judging them, or a person doesn't know when you're talking about them, but they do. They feel the vibe. If someone is walking by and 3 or 4 people is in a huddle talking, that person that's walking by automatically knows that those people are talking about them. So whatever that person is going through that's making them act the way they're acting right now, or being the way they're being, they're going to continue to be that way because you're talking about them, you're judging them, you don't know them, and the first thing that they're thinking in their mind is, who is them to judge me when they don't know me? They don't know what I went through last night. They don't know what kind of lifestyle I'm living. You know, they don't know all the things that I have to endure, everything that I have to deal with when I get up on a daily basis, just to get my mind right so I can come out here and be amongst people. You know, you don't even know, that could be just a struggle for them just to see people in public, because they have been criticized and treated wrong so bad and by so many people that they don't even want to face the world. But that's only because people have judged them and they have not gotten to know them. So that's why I say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't know, you know, what's on the inside. And if you don't know what's on the inside of a person, you should not judge that person. Because the thing is, you wouldn't want nobody to judge you if they didn't know you. So don't judge nobody if you don't know them. You know, that's just the bottom line. You know, if you know somebody, then, but even when you know somebody, you really shouldn't judge them, because you don't know what they went through. You know, you may know them to a certain extent, but you don't know what's really going on. They may tell you a little thing is what's going on, but what's really bothering them, they may not be willing to share with you, because they may think that you don't understand. And if you have judged them, that person right away, even though you know them, then the first thing they're gonna say, this person don't really know me. He just judged me. I thought he was my friend. I mean, I thought he was someone I could depend on and count on, and he just judged me, or he just talked about me. So you have to be careful with the way that you treat people, the way you judge people, because you don't know what they're going through. And if you don't know what they're going through, then don't judge them. You know, because you don't want nobody to judge you. You know, you don't want nobody to say what you will or won't be, or you don't want nobody to tell you what you can or cannot accomplish. You know, everybody should unite as one and have unity and love for one another, and not judge people. You know, when you don't know them, or if you do know them, because you could know a person and then all of a sudden they could turn into someone else than the person that you knew. But then that doesn't give you the right to judge them, because you don't know what they went through to get them to that point, to where they are now, or to make them act that certain way. And the only way you're going to find out is ask. And ask, is there anything that you can do to help them rather than tear them down? And then that's how you unite as one with unity and love for one another. And that's what we need more of in the world. We need more love and less hate. Because if we learn not to judge people, you know, by the cover of what you see on the outside of them, and get to know a person on the inside before you pass judgment, now the world will be a better place. You know, you wouldn't have all these people going behind all this backstabbing, people going behind each other's back, smiling in their face and talking behind their back. You wouldn't have all that, because that's judgment. And you don't judge nobody unless you know them. You know, and like I said, the book of life says, judge not lest ye be judged. So if nobody's judging you, you don't have the right to judge nobody else. So just remember that. You know, when you're going out today and you see someone acting a certain way, or being a certain way, or sad, or not their usual self than they were yesterday, don't judge them. Go up and ask them, hey, what's going on? Is there anything that I can do? I noticed that you was a certain way yesterday, and now today you seem sad, or now today you seem angry. What's going on? Did something happen that you would like to talk about, that you would like to share with me? I'm here. I'll be your listening ear. I'm here to listen and give you some advice and help you. Because if you try more on giving people advice and helping people and building people up, more so than tearing them down and judging them, now the world is a better place. People feel better in the world. People feel better about walking around in the world, doing the things in the world, being in the world. People feel better. And now you create a better world to live in, and now there's more love and less hate. And that's what we need more of in the world today. But we cannot have more of that if we judge books by their cover. If we judge people by what we see on the outside, and we don't get in on the inside to know that person, to know exactly what that person is going through and what's going on in their life, because we just prejudge them, from the outside. And that's the reason why I say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't know. You don't know what's going on in their life. And if you don't know what's going on in their life, you have no right to judge them. And they have no right to judge you. So today, I challenge you, if you've been going around judging people and not knowing, getting to know people, I challenge you to stop judging them before you get to know them, because you don't know what type of person they really are on the inside. On the inside, they could be a good person. They could have a good heart. They could be one of the best people you could ever meet, but you looked at their outside appearance and you judged them. And now, because I hear people say all the time, a lot of people say all women are the same. Men say that, and then women say all men are the same. You cannot say that because you don't know all women, and men cannot say that because they don't know all women, and women cannot say that because they don't know all men. So don't judge another man based on your past experience that you had with another man, because all men are different. And men don't judge another woman because of your past experience that you had with another woman. Don't never say all women are the same, and women don't never say all men are the same, because they're not. Everybody is different in their own type of way, no matter what. Even if that person acts like the person that you had before, then find out what's going on. Sit down and talk to that person and say, hey, I just want to know what's going on. I'm really trying to make this thing work, make this relationship work, but we're not getting on a communicating level. And don't just not communicate with them because you have in your head that all men are the same or all women are the same, and don't communicate with that person and get that person to open up, because you don't know what's hurting them on the inside that's causing them to be that way. So if you want to be able to have a good relationship with somebody, you got to get to know them. You can't judge them. You got to get to know them. You can't judge them based on what you had before, because nobody is exactly the same. They may act the same and they may act alike, but deep down they're different. And it's up to you to sit down with that person and talk to that person and find out what's going on that is making that person act that way. And now you can create a better relationship with that person, or marriage, whatever the case may be, or friendship. You can create it better. And because you're not judging from what you have seen other people do, and you're not judging from your past, because that's one of the worst things you could do, is judge someone else from the past, somebody else you was with. You could be destroying the best thing that ever happened to you in your life, because you have that thought in your mind that all men are the same or all women are the same. They're not. So that's why I say, don't judge a book by its cover. Get to know that person. And when you get to know that person, now you find out different things about that person, and now you know where that person is headed. But if you just see that person walking and you pass judgment on that person within the first appearance, and you never go up to that person and speak to that person or get to know that person before you judge that person, you could have just had an opportunity to have one of the best friends you could have ever had in life, but you judged them by what you've seen on the outside. Or you could have just had the opportunity to have the best relationship you ever had in life, but you prejudge them based on saying all men or all women are the same. So don't do that. If you don't know a person, don't judge them. And that's my challenge to you today. Find a way to not judge people if you don't know them, because it's not right. Get to know somebody if you want to get to know somebody. Only way you're going to get to know somebody is talk to them. But you cannot get to know them if you're sitting up there judging them by what they're doing, by what they're saying. you know, by the way they act, the way they treat people. You know, you gotta get to know these people, because certain people treat certain people certain ways because of the simple fact that's the way they've been treated all their life, and they don't know how to do better. You know, certain people don't respect people because they've never been respected. But it's up to you to teach them how to respect people, to teach them how to love people, to teach them how to care for people. But you cannot teach them that if you judge them. So that's why I say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what's on the inside, what's inside their heart, and you'll never find out what's inside their heart if you keep passing judgment on them and saying this and saying that about them, you know, if you don't know them. Get to know a person before you pass judgment up on that person, because, like I said, you never know what's going on, and you could save their life. It could be a person on the verge that so many things has went wrong in their life, and they're on the verge of suicide, and you judge them and you say they're crazy, and you never once go over and talk to them. And then 3 minutes later, you just seen that person and you judged that person and you said they was crazy, and then now you heard that they jumped off a building and they killed themselves, and you didn't, and you had an opportunity to say something to them that could have saved their life, but instead you judged them. Always get to know a person before you judge them, because you never know what's going on in their life, and you never know how you can reach them and save them from whatever they're going on, whatever's going on in their life. But it all starts within you when you decide not to judge a book by its cover. Learn how to get to know a person before you start judging them, because you don't know. Because no one knows nobody's struggles. No one knows what people have to endure every morning that they wake up. No one knows the household that people live inside every morning that they wake up. No one knows. You know what your household is like because you live there, but you don't know what nobody else's household is like because you don't live there. So don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what's going on the inside of that person. And when you judge that person by its cover, then you just make that person feel worse than what they already feel. You know, if they're already going through something and you judge them by their cover, and then they don't really, they know that you judge them, now that make them feel worse. You know, instead of putting a person down, pick a person up. Instead of judging a person, talk to a person. You know, instead of being mean to a person, be kind to a person. Instead of saying mean words to a person, say encouraging words to a person. And I challenge you to do that this week, because it's very important that you learn how to treat people right. Because like I said, if you want the blessings that's in store for you, you got to learn how to treat people right. And if you don't learn how to treat people right, then you're not going to get the blessings that's in store for you. So if you want what's meant for you and the blessing that you want in life, and be able to live the life that you need to live in life, and live the blessed life and not the stressed life, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, because you never know what's going on the inside of a person. So that's my message to you this morning. Don't judge a book by its cover. I hope that it resonates with you, and I hope that you are able to see where I'm coming from by saying that, because a lot of people are damaged. You know, you have everybody in the world is damaged in some kind of way, whether it's an emotional stress they went through, whether it's a physical stress they went through, whether it's a mental stress they went through, or whether it's a financial stress they went through, but they have been damaged in some kind of way. So that's why I say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you need to know what's going on the inside. If you don't know what's going on the inside, don't judge. And that's the best advice I can give to you. And I hope this morning message of don't judge a book by its cover resonates with you, and you know what's going on in your life, and you know how not to judge others when you don't know them. So once again, my name is Greg Young, coming to you live this morning with the morning inspiration from Davenport, Florida. And I just pray for each and every one of you all that you stay safe on the highway. If you're going out the door, going to work, drive safe. Whatever you're doing today, be safe. If you're working from home and you have a home-based business or just a job that you work from home, just be safe in what you're doing it and do it with respect. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover. When you communicate with people today, don't judge them by what they say and how they act. You know, get to know them. You know, try to see if there's something you can say to change how they feel. You know, if you call somebody this morning and they pick up the phone and they feel all down, you know, good morning, how are you doing today? You know, is there anything that you would like to talk about? Just saying that before you even go into the spiel of trying to get them to get what you have to offer to them opens them up, you know, because you said something kind, you know, and kind words go a long way. So that's why I say don't judge a book by its cover. But like I said, once again, my name is Greg Young, coming to you live from Davenport, Florida this morning. And I just want each and every one of you all to know that I love you and God loves you too. And have a blessed day and goodbye.